Hey guys, alright, well, here we go. I got a lot to talk about this week, so we're just going to move on through. This is big news. This is big news. Um, I'm starting with the weight loss because that's the biggest news of all. I am down to 348 pounds. Who cares, you say? Well, I say that means that as of today, I am halfway to my goal. So that is very good because it seems like from now on it's just downhill. So yeah, I'm very, very happy. I have been pretty much consistently losing about a pound a day the last maybe 4 days. So been coming down, coming down, coming down. So total, that's 122 pounds, and I have 122 pounds more to go. So hallelujah, hallelujah. Officially, I have run out of clothes. Yes, I have run out of any clothes. I have probably moved down to a 52s. I ordered some 52s. They haven't come yet. So I'm wearing my 54s still, but they are like literally falling off of me. Like if I don't wear a belt, I can hold them out like with a noticeable gap from me. So it's time to move on to 52s. Don't have them yet. Other than that, I had this big bin, sometimes behind my back, which I had the camera at a different angle today. So sometimes you see like behind this shoulder in some of my past videos, all these bins. They're full of old fat clothes, and they're now all empty. So I put them back in the attic now. So yeah, I'm out of clothes, and I have no more clothing. So I'm living off of just a couple items of clothing. Pull. Something that I have consistently forgotten to tell you guys for probably the last 4 videos is I'm thinning out up here. I'm got some very thick hair, and now I notice when I get my hair did that it's starting to, I can see the scalp, and I knew it was happening. I sat here one day doing something on the computer, and I was scratching my head, and just like hair was just fluttering, and I'm like, oh no. And, and like every time I would rub my hands through my hair, basically hair would fall out. Showers, I clean the drain out before because my wife always forgets. Ugh. But I clean the drain out before, and then after my shower, it's full of hair. So I know I'm losing it. When I do my hair, my hands are covered in hair, like with stuck in the pomade on my hands afterwards. So yep, could be something with me not getting all my proteins. I'm really trying hard, but who knows? I know some people have talked about biotin. I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. I even went to the specialty, like Ulta places and stuff like that, and they're like, biotin who? I just want to say one little thing real quick. Miss Connie, you got your surgery date. So I'm very happy for you. I consistently watch your videos, and you are one of the most joyful women that I've ever seen on video. But you're always happy. You always got a smile on your face. And even when you get frustrated with things, it seems like you still have such a positive light. So you're just a great woman. And so I'm so glad that this has happened for you. And congratulations. And sooner or later, we're not going to be able to tell you and Rose apart. And that's going to be strange. So you might always have to put who you are at the beginning, because I'm not going to be able to tell the two apart from each other. Moving on. Recently got some emails from people just kind of asking, what are some tips for people that are looking at getting surgery, and or even just weight loss in general. And I thought, I seem to, I'm only halfway through my process um, of losing the weight, and then I'm going to the, you know, 60 plus years of maintaining that, right? So, but I've really thought about it. I've really thought about it a lot, and I'd say the number one thing for anyone that's thinking about losing weight is get your head screwed on straight. Um, and what I mean about that is, I've talked about excuses and stuff like that in my past videos, but it still goes the same even now. Is don't look at how much you can do and get away with it. For weight loss surgery patients, can we maybe we can have a cup of food eventually, but is there anything wrong with not getting that cup of food and getting a little bit less? What's wrong with changing our attitudes about carbs and stuff like that? Like once I've gotten past my carb addiction, I really don't even crave carbs anymore. Um, I had some quesadillas the other day because um, I went to lunch with my friend, my pastor, but it was a friend guy date thing. We went and I had some quesadillas and they were really good. They were chock full of chicken and it was wonderful and everything. But I didn't make a big issue of the carbs that I was eating, having the quesadilla shells. So it was good. Wasn't able to really make a big. That didn't affect me, I guess you could say. But I will definitely say that it was something where I had to know, okay, I did this, but I've got to be really consistent now for the next, at least the week, just really fighting hard because I did this and I didn't do wrong in doing it, but I need to make sure that I'm changing things. You can't run completely away from carbs. Carbs are going to be in so many good things that we eat, not but those carbs that you get from flour based, wheat based things, those are the ones that end up kind of biting you in the butt and expanding the butt. I think that there's a lot of people that um, they have the surgery, but they haven't completely given into the food. And so they find themselves maybe eating a little bit more than they should or doing a little bit more than they should and stretching their boundaries. Um, a lot of people will go out to eat, and a lot of places have the healthy menu or the the Weight Watchers menus. Some places even have the Weight Watchers menus. The problem when you get to those is that the portions are huge. Um, my wife and I, we were out and about doing some shopping this last week, and there was one night where we were like, "Oh my gosh, it's like 6 o'clock at night. Like we haven't fed the kids." And so, kid meaning one kid, and we'll just say I'm a kid too. There we go. We hadn't eaten yet, and so it's like, okay, well, by the time we get all the way home, it's going to be like 6:30 because we were pretty far away from our house, so it's going to be 6:30, 6:45, and then we have to start cooking, and that's like way too late for the kids. So we're like, we need to eat something out, and so we went to Applebee's, and I went in there, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be good, and I ordered something off their Weight Watchers menu that wasn't carb based because they have a lot of carb based stuff. But I'd ordered something and it was like 13 points or something on the Weight Watcher system, and I don't really know the whole Weight Watcher system thing, but that seems like a pretty good meal. Um, I got it and it was like this big of a plate, just loaded with stuff. And yeah, it had veggies and rice and chicken and stuff like that. But it was just like it was a wicked amount of food. And I'm like, if somebody eats this, thinking, well, it's 13 points. Look how much I get to eat. Plus, you have to consider that you don't know if did they scrape the grill down before they cook that butter shrimp or whatever on it, you know, so you're getting some of that. So it might not be just 13 points. So if you can be disciplined and stick with what you're supposed to be doing and doing exercise, doing, you know, like exercise is not an option. I have a friend named Jeannie who just the other night she couldn't go out and about for practicing for her 5K. So what she do? She ran in place in her house. Okay, like most people wouldn't think of something like that. It's like, oh, I can't go out. I don't have a treadmill, so I'm done. She's like, let's just run in place. So, and I'll do it the same amount of time that I'd be out and about. All right, great. Is it the same workout? Probably not. There wasn't as much resistance just going up and down. But it was great, and I guarantee she got her heart rate up. I guarantee she did it. And so I was like, yeah, go girl. But there's a lot of people that they tend to kind of ignore the psychologists. There's psychologists out there sometimes that say, well, I don't think that you're going to be able to cope with it. And why some psychologists might be a little crazy, I think there's something to be said of, okay, wait a minute. Is there more that maybe I should deal with? Because I think rushing having like surgery and not getting the help that you need could put you on the area of possibly having to, you know, go through a process of after you've lost the weight, possibly regaining, and now have to go through the process of trying to fight that fight backwards. And there's really no going back, especially if you had gastric bypass or the switch. You're not turning back from those. So I mean, you can, but I mean that's pretty invasive surgery, and so you're basically you're a place where you gave up your last ditch scenario. For me, if I think that a psychologist wants to spend a little bit more time with me, maybe I should take that, and maybe I should deal with the issues that are layering. I heard it put really well one time of obesity is kind of like carrying weight, and you're like, duh. But it's there's a lot of extra baggage that comes along with your weight. It's very rare that you'll see someone who's overweight and maybe doesn't have a couple things that needs to be taken care of in their life. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you're depressed or that you have these mommy daddy issues or anything like that. Sometimes it just means that, you know what, you're not in the place where you can practice a total amount of self-control. And there will be a day where you will learn that, well, if I graze, like I know I can eat a meal and maybe after 15, 20 minutes, I can eat more. And I believe there's a possibility that some foods, if I take my sweet time, I could eat an entire plate of food. It just might take me an hour or two. So if you don't change that mentality, you may find yourself sitting there eating that food. And I have people, actually a part of my family core, that have had the surgery and gained the weight back because they just found ways to start stretching it out and they put the weight back on. And so it's not something that you want to take lightly. And so if someone says that you don't have coping skills or something like that, you know, like I said, there are people out there, and I've met psychologists who were trying to convince me that I was trying to kill myself in the past when I was like, I ain't trying to kill myself. Well, you're saying this, I'm not saying this, you know. And it's like, oh, you're getting defensive, and I'm like, you're telling me I'm trying to kill myself? What are you talking about? Like, I'm not trying to kill myself. So there are crazy psychologists out there, but it's something to take serious. What I did personally was I actually, before three, anywhere from 3 to 5 months, I can't put the exact date on it, before I even started the process of having weight loss surgery, which my process was almost 9 months. When I started that process, what I did was I started seeing a counselor, not a psychologist, but a counselor. And I started this months before I even started the process of weight loss surgery, knowing that on January 1st or 2nd, we'll say, I was going to pick up the phone and call the bariatric center and start the process. I started before that, making sure that I was cleaning stuff up. And so I'm at a place where I see things a lot differently. I'm able to kind of deal with my own issues and stuff like that. So, anyways, this video is getting long, but that was just to answer the emails that I've gotten. Great responses from last week. I appreciate everybody that loves my sweet action car. I love my sweet action car too. I'm going to visit the in-laws this weekend. Pray for me in my hour of need.